Hello, this is Shai. Welcome to the Joy of CAD. On this final episode of the Civil Basics series, part 6 of 6, we will use a standard version of AutoCAD 2026 to create parcels within our model. In this video, I will cover what are parcels and a few techniques you can use to draw them. So what is parceling, you ask? Simply put, parceling is the process used to divide a large tract of land into smaller, legally defined lots. This is an involved process which must include a licensed surveyor, typically a lawyer, local government official, and of course, the tax man. For our example today, we do not need to worry about any of these things, thankfully. Each parcel will be divided by a boundary line around the perimeter, as well as an inset or setback, which defines where future owners can build within the newly created parcel. These setbacks typically specify the distance from the front, back, and sides of the parcel. For those students taking my course, we do have a few rules you must always follow. Parcel sides must be perpendicular to the front of the parcel or right-of-way. The only curved lines permitted are those that overlap the existing right-of-way lines. Inset lines or setbacks must be dashed. Note, you may need to adjust the line type scale if they don't show up dashed in your layout view. For your upcoming project, I will provide target values for parcel square footage, road frontage, and parcel depth. Furthermore, you will be provided inset requirements for front, back, and sides, which must always be met. Remember, inset values are binding and typically set by local zoning regulations or ordinances. For our example, for this video today, we are going to use a target parcel size of about 1/4 acre or 10,900 square feet. In order to achieve that area, we're going to use a parcel road frontage of 100 feet and a parcel depth of 109 feet. The requirements for this parcel example will use a setback from the right-of-way of 30 feet, a setback from the back of the parcel of 20 feet, and a setback from the sides of 10 feet. Just a reminder to my students who are taking this course, you will not use these same values. You will get different values assigned to you during the project, and you want to use those, not the example I'm using here for this video. Additional notes, you must hit all the targets where possible, all right? Parcel sides must be perpendicular to the right-of-way. The front of the parcel overlays the right-of-way, and there must be no curved parcel sides or backs. So let's jump in. Let's get to drafting. First thing we're going to do, we're going to make a parcel side. And to do that, we're going to use the parcel depth of 109 feet to determine the sides of the parcel. So we're going to make sure we're in our parcel layer, and we're going to draw a line here, a 109 foot vertical line. And we're going to block this and insert it along the front of the right-of-way. Now, we'll do this similar to like what we did with the station marks. We inserted that, except here we're gonna use the bottom of this line as the insertion point. And I like to, this will be a left-handed side. I like to think about this as I'm walking down the roadway. These would be the lines off to the left, okay? So let's go ahead and create a block for this. We'll call this parcel side left. We're going to specify the base point on screen, specify the objects on the screen, allow exploding, accept that, specify the insertion base point. We're going to use the bottom of this line and select the objects. I'm just going to select that line. Okay, so now that we've created that block, I highlight it, notice the insertion point is down here on the bottom. All right, so that worked out. Now the first thing I need to do, I need to put a parcel line over top of this right-of-way. This will be the front of our parcel. To achieve that, I'm going to go up here to the Layers command, and I'm going to use this Copy Objects to New Layer. I'm going to select that. Now it wants to know, select the objects to copy. I'm going to copy this line, right-click. Now it wants to know the destination layer. I can choose this because I've already selected on that. Now it wants to know the base point. I'm going to use this point down here. Remember, you must pick the same exact point. So I have to go back down here to this point. If I choose a different location, it could put that in the wrong spot. So I have to make sure I pick on the same exact point. All right. Now notice my right-of-way line, the original right-of-way line was purple here. So I have two objects here. If I select on this, so just to be safe, I want to turn off my right-of-way line, or freeze it, I should say, just so I don't accidentally mess anything up there. Notice this right-of-way line turned off, and I now only have one selected. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I want to insert these sides along this line. So just like we did the stations, we're going to use the Measure command. We're going to select the object that we want to measure, and we're going to insert a block. And what do we call this? We said this was our parcel side left. All right. Align with object, yes. Specify the length of the segment to measure. Now in this case, this is going to determine our road frontage. So we want 100 feet between these. So we're going to key in 100 feet. And sure enough, there they are. We've inserted our parcel sides. Remember, we need to, let's go ahead and get rid of this guy right here, so we don't need that anymore. Now we're going to need to move or copy, this line from this base point down here. Remember, the Measure command doesn't start at the very beginning. And if you see here, some of these parcels are a little bit smaller than others, and some are larger. We're not actually going to be able to hit the road frontage. This would be perfect road frontage through here, but we would not meet our target of a 1/4 acre in some of these smaller ones. So we do have to do some adjustment of these lines to get a reasonable target here where we can meet this the square footage, the area. So the next thing we're going to do, and if I highlight this line, I can see that this line, see, this constitutes the curve, right? So this line isn't perfectly perpendicular. So I actually want to disregard that line. I don't want to use that line. I'm going to replace this with another line later. But I can see that these two lines I can move. So I'm going to move these lines from here to the end point, shift those up. And next I'm gonna look at this, and I think I'm gonna need to put a new line in here. All right, so let's start a line maybe out here, and I'm gonna use the perpendicular O-snap and attach it to this line. That ensures that, again, I'm meeting that perpendicular requirement, okay? So that gives me a little bit more space, a little bit tighter here. I can remove this line, all right? And it looks like I'm going to need to give myself a little bit more space in here. Now this, let's see. Let's go ahead and draw a line from, let's see, this is straight. Maybe we'll just move this line from this point, maybe in here. Use the nearest O-snap. Since I know that one's already perpendicular, that's probably good. All right. The next thing I want to do, now that I've kind of gotten those spaced out a little bit more, I want to draw some lines. I want to draw some lines here to get these back parcels drawn up. So I'm going to use a line here. I'm going to connect these two. And let's see, I'm going to draw a line from here to here. Next, let's see, how about that line was intact. Let's do that. And now let's use a fillet with a radius of 0. And let's connect these two lines. All right. So we don't want any curved backs. Notice we've got a line that's a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. So what we can do is we can extend. Oh, I think I need to grab these lines. Select similar before I do this. And I need to explode these to make sure I can modify them. So now what I'll do is I'll trim this line, remove that. I'll extend this line. And let me check. I believe I need to extend that line also because it was on a curve. I want to make sure that all of these lines are connecting and everything's nice and even. So I should have perfect square footage here, or area, for this parcel. And if I, just to verify this, we're going to take an area measurement here, here to here. And that gives us 10,900 square feet, which is perfect. That's what we need. And just to show you again, we take a distance measurement from here to here. We have 100 feet. Our depth is 109. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now, if you notice, these are not, we're not going to hit the target exact, right? But we're going to get as close as we can with a reasonable effort. Okay. But wherever we have a straight section, we should be able to hit those targets exact. Okay. So now that we have our parcels defined, we're going to work on these insets. Okay, so we're going to switch over to our parcel inset layer. Okay, and we have to establish a setback from the right-of-way of 30 feet. So we're going to use the offset command. And again, we're going to use that offset to layer. We're going to offset to the current layer. We're going to specify the offset distance, 30 feet. So we'll specify 30 feet, offset here. And we want to offset from the back. Okay, so we're going to initiate another offset to layer current. Now this time we have a value of 20 feet. Key in 20 feet. Notice there is some trimming we're going to need to do. Some of these things aren't exact, right? And then we're going to set back from the sides 10 feet. So we're going to do one more offset, layer current, 10 feet. Now we're going to offset 10 feet. There's quite a few of them here, and we're going to have to do some trimming. So now we've got these roughed out. Now something we need to do, we're going to fillet these and join them. But before we do that, we need to break these connections here. We just need to break one of these. So I'm going to zip through here, just remove some of these. Again, doesn't matter which side, but I do need to break them. Otherwise, we'll not fillet these correctly. There we go. And lastly, we're going to do some fillets here. Again, with a radius of 0. Oh, and we want to click on multiple so we don't have to keep entering this command. Now what we'll do is we'll just select around here. We're going to do this on all of these insets. And there's a good bit of clicking involved here. And it's easy to miss little line fragments here and there if you miss a trim. So you really want to keep a keen eye open. Make sure you don't miss any of these. It's frustrating if you do. Click in the right location there. We're almost done. Two more. All right. Now, when we select these, ideally we want these to be one unit. Sometimes, like this one, you'll see that they're not completely joined. So if we grab both of these and then key in join, right, that should connect them, and it did. Right. Let's see if there's any more that need adjustment. They should be good. Now, one thing you'll notice, oh, no, we got one more. So select this, hit the join command. All right, so now let's go ahead and select similar. One thing we want to do, notice that some of these aren't very well defined. Let's adjust that line type scale. Let's see. Let's cut it in half. All right, notice now you see a lot more dashes involved. It's a little bit easier to see those. They stand out a little bit better. Okay, so we're almost there. The next thing we need to do, let's go to our parcel, property parcel text. All right, and we're going to add our parcel numbers in here. So we're going to go to annotate, and we're going to use multi-line text, and we're going to insert a value in here. 1 works. So with these, we want these to be rotated so that they are lined up with our parcels. They don't have to be perfect, but they should be close. All right. And what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to copy these. All right. So let's go ahead and grab these. Again, they don't have to be perfect. Just get them close. We want them to face the roadway also. There we go. All right, and if you notice, these look like they need to be rotated a little bit more. So we're going to use the rotate command. Grab this, adjust it just a little bit more. Rotate this. One more here. There we go. All right, and you might be saying, well, they're all one. Well, that's fine. You remember there's a really cool express tool command called auto number. So we're going to select these in order, go up to express tools, and we're going to select auto number, selection order. Wants to know the increments. We're going to start by 1 and go by 1 increments of 1. And this time we're going to overwrite. And there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. We have now completed the parceling of this side of the roadway. This concludes our special Civil Basics series of the Joy of CAD. Happy drafting.